WCSU Radio moving on the map. This is the Greg Baker Show. And right now I told y'all I got a big guest on the line. We got the original Freeway Rick Ross. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good. How you?
Man, I'm great, man. I'm blessed and I ain't gonna say highly favored, man. I'm blessed to be talking to you, period.
Man, I appreciate the love. You know what I'm saying? It's only right. You know what I'm saying? I give you your props as well, because I'm glad to be on the show.
Thank you, brother. And you know you're calling into Chicago State University. We down here on the southeast side of Chicago, 95 East King Drive. So you calling into a college station, and we got these college girls out here going crazy for you.
Tell them I said, what's happening? You know, I've been to Chicago, man, like 3 times last year. I spoke down at St. Francis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully I can get down there, man. Maybe we can do a little speech or something down there at the school. You know, I would love to get out there, you know, and speak to the kids, and then maybe we throw a party. You know, bring Glaze down there and throw a party in the whole 9 yards and get it in.
I've been doing that, like motivational speaking, man. I feel that we need to do that for the kids, because they definitely need it in Chicago, definitely.
Oh man, without a doubt. You know, I spoke at high schools. I probably spoke about 20-some high schools in Chicago. You know, getting in with hip hop detox. But definitely, man, our kids need it all over, because there's so much negativity portrayed, you know, in the media that our kids can get lost inside of the hype and don't know what's real and what's not real.
Now, Rick, do you mind if I call you Rick, or you want me to call you Rick Ross? Or
Rick, when we cool, you can call me Rick.
Call you Rick, for sure. Like now, you being in the media, coming from a career where you were like, you know, you had to be low key. You know,
you had the eye.
Right. So you had the eye. So now, how do you feel that you're going to change the game with your new record label?
Man, I just built a new website. It's called Freeway Social Media. And what I'm doing is I'm giving every artist their own platform to launch their own record label. So what they can do is they can go on my site. They can set up their page where they can download their music. They can sell their music if they want to. They set their own price. The money go to their account, or they can give it away if they want to. They can do T-shirts, hats, whatever it is they want to do, they can do right off my site. I think this is the tool that's going to really change the music, and it's going to give artists power. You know, they're not going to be out there tap dancing and skating around, and then at the end of the day be broke.
Definitely, and that's all from your website. What's the name of the website again?
It's freewaysocialmedia.com. I created that for the artists, so they can have their own freedom.
We're going to make sure we help you get that out there in Chicago, because a lot of Chicago artists, like Glaze is from Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Man, that's a big look, too, because Chicago is really moving on the map. You know, we got our Chief Keefs out there, our King Louis, and we cannot like fail to mention Kanye. You know, Kanye is like almost half the music that's in the industry right now, and that's on the radio.
Yeah,
so
Chicago's big when it comes down to music, without a doubt.
So definitely, what made you like start off with like Chicago artists to, you know what I'm saying, spearhead your music group?
Well, man, when I ran into Glaze was so tight. I mean, and he's different. You know, he ain't no gangster. He ain't killing people on wax. He ain't selling dope. I mean, the kids just make good music, you know, and I have to respect that. I mean, I like good music, you know, and he makes the kind of music that you can listen to with your mama and you ain't gonna be embarrassed, you know.
I agree. I'm definitely glad you stuck your hand in Chicago and pulling out some artists, man. I definitely appreciate that.
You know, Chicago like my second home, man. When I come down there, man, I get so much love. I just don't like that cold, man. Y'all got to do something about all that cold.
Hey, we going to holler at God, tell him bring the sun a little closer. Hey, we going through the cold right now, man. It's ridiculous out here, Rick.
But man. Man, even the time I slipped in the snow and fell.
You did one of those too?
Yeah, I told him, I said, man, they trying to make freeway sickles out of me in Chicago.
Now, I'm gonna go, you know, a little sidebar real quick with you. Now, like a couple people in the studio, they wanted me to ask about, you know, your feelings, you know, about Rick Ross taking your name and everything. You know, I really don't want to go into that. I know y'all had the lawsuit and everything, but, you know, they really want me to ask this question to you, Ross.
I went to court behind that dude yesterday, man. That dude, I mean, I think that the people who's advising him, not only has he lost touch, but some of his people that's advising him. You know, they just canceled a show in North Carolina, in Charlotte, Carolina, one of those cities down there. I just got a call. Somebody just told me that somebody just threatened his life.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just think that he's lost touch. You know, he just don't know that you can't run around and just trample on people. So, you know, I ain't got no ill feelings behind it. it, you know. But you know, it's like a boomerang. If you throw a boomerang out there, it's gonna come back to you. So
that's that
you
karma.
know, what he gotta know is that whatever he do to other people, you know, even though you might think they're criminal, you might think they ain't no good, you know, because they've been to the pen or they sold some dope. So, you know, since you legal, you ain't never committed a crime. You know, you feel that you can just run over everybody, but you know, it don't work like that.
So you see, like on World Star, they had like the gangsters, you know, the video threatening his life. So you really got to be careful with this music nowadays, like how you put yourself out there.
Oh, absolutely. But more so than that, it ain't just the music why he got problems. His problems stem behind him trampling on other people. You know, feel that because he got these white folks behind him that he can do whatever he want to do to us out here, you know, in the streets. And the streets, you know, when you make a mistake in these streets, it could cost. I mean, it could cost you dearly, and not no money. These are life and death mistakes that you make in these streets. You know, the reason that I'm still here today, and the reason that I can walk these streets is because I knew that, you know, when you're in a certain position that you got power in your hand that could end somebody's life or end your own life.
You ain't never lying, brother. And I really want to get that message out through myself and through you, that when you do music, you make sure that you get yourself together, because you're speaking to people who might not have parents or anyone to look up to. That's all I got to say.
You're a teacher. I mean, you know, you're a teacher, and you got to respect your craft. You know, you got to say, hey, we got to do this thing a way that's going to be uplifting people and not tearing them down.
Now, I want you to be a part of my manifest moment, okay? I want you to manifest the next 5 years of your life.
Oh, the next 5 years of my life. Hey, you know what you got to do, too? You just brought me something. Somebody just read an article to me that they did while I was still in prison. They can go check it out on rickrossblog.com.
Okay.
And when this dude interviewed me, I still had a life sentence, and I hadn't read the article for about 10 years. And somebody read it to me yesterday over the phone. They had just found it and read it to me. And he predicted. I told him that I was going to be out of prison, that I would be out here with a record label, that I would be with the heavyweight champion of the world, that I would have a politician listening to what I tell him to do, and I was going to do a movie and do my book. And me and the guy's writing another story right now, the guy who wrote that article, and he sent that article, and he's been riding around with me for a few days. So he was like, man, I got to take my hat off to you, man. I thought you was crazy when you was in there. So saying that, in the next 5 years, man, I see myself in some big places, not only helping people on the street, but as well as helping the people that really run this country get their priorities together. Because a lot of these people, you know, it's crazy. I don't think that a person with no experience shouldn't be running this country.
Too late.
You know, we got to get some people that been out here and live, that know what it's like out here on these streets, you know. So often that they can't speak for us, man. They can't speak for us in these streets, you know, in South Central Los Angeles, and, you know, and East Chicago and South Chicago, you know, in these ghettos and these projects, because they don't know what it's like. They mom and daddy always had money. They always had plenty.
They don't know about no roaches. They don't know about no roaches.
No, they ain't never seen a roach. You know, they see a roach, they think he a pet.
You don't pet that. Don't pet that.
So you know what I'm saying, man?
Right.
We need some people who don't experience a lot of things. You know, like right now, it really irks me, man, that we got 600,000 young black men in prison for selling drugs. That's a nonviolent offense. And it also irks me that when they went to court, nobody had the decency enough to tell the jury that these guys come from slaves and that their ancestors was treated, you know, in inhumane ways. And that treatment just might have rubbed off why so many of these young black men are going the wrong direction. Man, I got so much, you know, I got so much on my mind, man, that it's crazy. But one thing for sure, I got love for my people, and I ain't gonna forget, you know, where I came from. I ain't gonna forget the brothers I left in prison, you know, who in there for nonviolent offenses. It's crazy, you know, because these dudes shout their names out in songs, but they'll still let them sit in prison and don't lift a hand to get them out.
Now let me go ahead and go down this route. Now, even though you're still writing your story, you know, you still writing your book of your life. Now, if you had to, you know, mentor like a young person that wanted to go down the route you started, what would you tell them?
Well, Well, the first thing I would tell him is that dealing drugs is one of the hardest business you can do. There's no business out here no harder than selling drugs. Nothing. I don't think nothing is. I don't think that the entry level to selling drugs is less than any other business. Because, you know, when you sit down and you analyze it, you say, man, every day that I go out and sell drugs is a day that I put my life on the line. A day that I put my freedom on the line. That's a day that the police could have come in and took me to prison for the rest of my life. That was a day that a jacker could have come in and killed me and my whole family. So putting those type of things on the line, I mean, you laying it all out. You know, these other dudes, when they do business, the only thing they put on the line is they. So at the worst they stand a chance to lose is their money. But here we are out here, not only do we put our money on the line, but we put our life on the line, then we put our whole family's life on the line. I know people where they come in and rob a drug dealer, and they don't just kill the guy who they came to rob, but they kill everybody in the house. So, you know, when you get ready to take that leap of faith, you got to look at the whole scenario. You got to look at not only are you putting yourself on the line, but you putting your mama on the line, you putting your brothers on the line, you putting your wife on the line, your sisters, uncles, everybody that you come in contact with, you putting them on the line, because a lot of times with these dirty cops, in order to make the person who was actually selling the drugs confess to the crime or cooperate with them, they'll take and put his mama, his baby mama, or his brother, as if they was actually inside the crime and they really wasn't. So, you know, you putting a lot on the line when you decide to pick up that dope sack.
Definitely. Thank you, brother.
I know we made it look easy. You know what I'm saying? We made it look easy. We made selling dope look like it's glamorous.
That's what bosses do, make it look easy.
But there ain't nothing glamorous about selling dope. Man, that stuff is hard. It's unforgiving. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many people out there trying to get you.
Same thing with entertainment almost.
Yeah, entertainment code too, man.
Well, thank you. Hey, thank you, Ross, man. I appreciate you, brother. And before I conclude this interview, I really would like for you to give out your contact information and, you know, let people know where they can get to your website again and, you know, more, and, you know, your label.
Yeah. If you're trying to holler at me, I got the perfect platform for you now. I'm gonna be able to tell who the best rapper in the country is. I'm gonna be able to get behind that artist. So hit me up at freewaysocialmedia.com. Again, it's freewaysocialmedia.com. Hit me up right there. Put your music on there. I go on the site every day and I look to see who's doing what. I'm gonna be able to tell who's selling the records, and I'll be able to tell who I'm gonna get behind. You can also hit me up on Twitter at Freeway Rick, and Facebook is locked out, so you can't hit me there. But I'll let your boy, I'm trying to hear from you. My phone number is out there in cyberspace somewhere. If you find it, give me a call. I'm going to answer the phone if you call my number. With that, I'm out.
Hey, thank you, brother. Stay on the line real quick for me, okay?
Okay, cool.
All right, WCSU Radio moving on the map. I'm Greg Baker. Well, let's get back to these hits on WCSU Radio.